Good morning, Rupesh. Thank you for joining in today's interview. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. What's about you?
Doing good as well. Thank you for asking. So, before we proceed, can you give a brief introduction about yourself?
Yeah. So first of all, thanks for giving me a nice introduction about me. So myself, Rupesh Rao. I'm a Tableau certified desktop specialist with 6 years of experience in designing, developing interactive dashboard, visualization, and reports. My previous role involves the data analysis by using the Tableau and Tableau desktop as well as dashboard design. In my previous role, I have worked for the various clients such as Citibank, where our KPI is to target the sell term deposit. So we are creating a high KPIs that to target the number of subscription as well as which countries that we have to target, all that things. Then second, I have worked for the Tenex Genomics, which is a healthcare and finance domain. So where our KPI is to target the consumer complaint analysis. So the most of the KPIs are like the number of complaints as well as which are the high zone, which are the prone zone, where we have to target all that things. And recently I have worked for the client Zoom, so which is a media and telecommunication domain. So that project is about the Zoomies life cycle from the intern up to the exit of the firm, and that complete dynamic analysis that we are showing in our dashboard. I have experience in designing a various Tableau workbooks from various data source connection like SQL, CSV, PDF, Microsoft SQL Server also, as well as from the Snowflake. I have experience with collaborating with the clients while understanding the requirements and have been a part of the project from the scratch also. I have experience with collaborating with the cross-functional teams like project manager as well as business analyst, then data engineers. So sometimes we have to get things done in our project. That's our motto to explore the all that things with the cross-functional teams. I have learning a new technologies to stay ahead of the curve. Currently I'm learning the Python, which is now the is going on as well as Power BI. So in my current company, I have worked for the Deloitte. That is, I recently worked. Previous, I have worked for the Secure Cloud Technologies Limited, which is work for the Infosys. And previous, I have worked for the Unique Technomic. So in my current company, my role involves to understand the requirements with the clients, as well as creating a technical document, as well as functional required document, and get stored into the Confluence. Third point is that we have to daily activities, that we have to give the daily meetings, our daily progress to internal and external clients, developing a dashboard and get reviewed from the clients as well as from the teams, and creating documents for that. So these are the things are going on. We generally follow the agile methodology. So yeah, that's all about myself.
Thank you very much, Rupesh. So, Rupesh, as you mentioned that you had been a part of finance as well as the Zoom platform as well as the health that you mentioned, right? So,
Yes.
what do you think is the most challenging domain that you have worked so far? Which one of these three are the most challenging ones?
So the challenging part for me is my current project, that is for the Zoom. So where a lot of calculations are involved, like LOD calculations, so much LOD calculations are involved there. So our architecture involves from the Snowflake architecture, that's our data source include Oracle as well as Anaplan, and we integrate with the Boomi integration and Python script as well as manual loading into the Snowflake environment. And we have created a different materialized view. So we have thinking about the data perspective side also, and thinking about the dashboard design side also. So in the dashboard design, we mainly focus for the head count. So when we consider the head count, that is it's not giving giving the aggregation for the whole year. It's giving the latest headcount. Like in our company, what is the latest headcount means what number of peoples are current in the company. So we have to write our all the KPI, all the metrics that's involved to that calculations. So latest
Only
number of,
something like active, right? Any
yes,
people who are
active
there in the
headcount.
organization should be active. Based on that filter condition, I think the KPIs can work.
Yes,
So what
yes.
is the challenge in that? Means what challenge did you figure out over there?
So the challenge is that we have created a different metrics like which are the number of headcounts are presently. So we have used the fixed LOD calculation with the date wise, whatever the latest date that you have in the company, that data we have. So we have to write a calculation for that with the fixed one. But again, a number of calculations are involved into that, which is a fixed LOD calculation, and that sometimes somewhat that disintegrate the performance. So that is the one challenge, as well as the parameter challenge, the blending challenge is there. So we have a 5 to 6 data sources are there in our dashboard, which is coming from requisition details. These are the number of tables we have connected with the Snowflake. So when we filtering out whatever the exact result that we want, it's not give the exact result due to the blending. So we have recommended to them that can we go with the single data source? So it's okay with that. So that's one challenge. We have created a parameters because that's
So how
not,
did you overcome that? Means suppose blending is not giving you the right data, means as per the requirement. So you suggested something to the clients. Did
yes,
they
yes.
accept your suggestion? What changes did you do so that you have overcome this challenge?
Yeah. So firstly, what our dashboard design includes, 6 data sources are there, which is coming from the different tables, and we have created a materialized view for that. So from that 6 data sources, we have to conclude that from the one data sources, we can filtering out year, quarter, and month.
Hmm.
So obviously, when you are going for the visualization things or going for the filtering, when you are drag something from the other data sources, it automatically gives the blending one. And when we filtering out the exact result from that blending, whatever the blending filters are there, it does not give the exact result, means it does not give the exact values in our visualization. So that's why obviously blending sometimes did not work as much our expectation. So I suggest them that can we go with the single data source? Yeah, it's a hectic challenge that we have to combine 5 to 6 tables, materialize views into single them, but that's going a perfect result for that. And they did that all that things. And when we filtering out year, quarter, and all that, so it gives the exact result. So that is the one thing that I am suggesting to the client.
So they did that, right? Means whatever
Yeah,
things
they
that you
did that.
suggested, they did that. So
Yes,
it's a good thing, right? You have advised something that they have accepted it, and not only accepted it, but also made those changes.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
So you emphasized a lot on the designing, that you have worked a lot on the designing. So whenever a project is given to you and you need to develop the dashboard, what are the things that you take care in your mind while designing the layout of the dashboard?
Yeah. So can I give a recent example?
Yeah, anything of your
Yeah,
choice.
yeah. So what things we have did? First, we have the meeting with our stakeholders. So because we have a data sources, data teams are there, and we have created a dashboard design with the UI developer. So we have designed all that things into the Figma, and I have sit with them. So in the Figma design, the layout is already they have provided a layout. So I suggest them that they are going with the floating side. That is the option. But again, when we are going for the floating, some resolution might be not work in other desktop or client desktop, or if they want to see in the mobile also. So something that not happen, means resolution might be disturbed in that case. So I suggest them that we are going with the tiled one things. So that is the one suggestion I given, as well as another suggestions that's I given to you. That's whatever the high number of KPIs that we are going to show on the upper side, and then whatever the different charts that are related to that metrics we are going to show in the another things in the that's resolution, whatever the we have given that resolution, we want to show that, and the whatever the parameters that we are show on the right hand side. And as well as I'm suggesting them to go with the collapsible filter. That is the one option. So also they like that, but after giving means 3-4 meetings, means 1 to 2 months are going away, they withdraw that things collapsible filters, because the user does not want, they want a filter to be shown in the right hand side. So yeah, these are the things happen while designing.
So are there a lot of elements that's present on the dashboard?
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you need a collapsible filter?
Because collapsible, that's save to space, because we are showing 5 to 6 visualization in one dashboard, and the
6 I think is not too much.
yeah, because on the upper one side, that's the logo, all that things for the Zoom, and then higher KPI metrics we are showing, which is the head count, hires, all that things, FT, time to start, all. And
so what is the challenge? Suppose if you are designing through layouts, means a tiled structure. So in terms of performance optimization, what things do you keep in mind in terms of layout, not in any other things, but when you are designing the layout, what are the things that you keep in mind in terms of performance optimization? For layout, I'm saying, not for calculated fields or actions or something, just for layout. What are things do you keep in mind?
So first things is that to keep the number of filters minimum. That is the first thing I suggest.
How many filters do you think is a good advice?
Means 10 to 12 filters maximum, these are sufficient. That's also impact the performance.
So how many do you keep in your organization?
As users want so many filters, because they
so what's the number of that so many filters?
They might taken around 23 to 24 filters in their dashboard.
23 to 24 filters.
Yes.
As a design perspective, it's really bad.
Yeah.
Even 10 number of filters counting to 10 is also bad. 4 to 5 is an ideal filter. But if you're using 20 to 24 filters, I think, yeah, that can cause a problem. So, yeah, besides the filters, so what are the other things that you keep in mind?
Beside the filters, again, with respect to the parameters, thinking parameters, minimum number of parameters would be there. And again, we provide the actions also, so which improves the performance. That is the first thing.
So if you're using 24 filters, I don't think action will be required at all, because we use actions just to eliminate filters. So if you already have so many filters, once again adding actions to on top of that will reduce it. But do you do anything with the containers?
Again, with that filters, that's one thing I changes there. With the relevant one, only you are showing only relevant values in that.
Right. Okay. Fine. So now in terms of your data handling skills, as you mentioned that you are ingesting data from multiple sources, right?
Yes.
Have you tried relationships over blending while ingesting data from multiple sources? Did that help you?
Yeah. So when we go for the blending, then in some visualizations, we required 2 or 3 things from the other data sources. So in that case, we go for the blending. And relationship is the different things.
What is different?
Relationship is the flexible way to combine the data. So in the relationship, you did not worry about your join type. You did not worry about the data duplications. So, and again, the performance wise, you did not worry about to eliminate the nulls, all that things. And Relationships gives the exact result in your visualization. So blending we are going for, if we
Why you are not going for relationships than blending?
yeah, relationships is far much better than blend.
So did you try that? Means instead of doing a blend from multiple sources, did you try relationships from multiple sources?
No, I have not tried that.
No, not tried that. Okay, fine. Okay. Now talking about your flow, the project management flow that you mentioned is agile, right?
Yes.
So generally how the work flows in, means how the priorities and the complexities are determined. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yes, sure. So we are generally work on the Jira tickets. So they set the priorities for that with the story points, all that things. So
No, I
first
want to know
thing,
about all that things. In most of the cases, you are saying all that things. So what is that all that thing? How the story pointing is determined?
so it determines with the number of working hours. So one story point they assign 2 hours. So if they have assigned 8 story point, then it is definitely comes to know us that it is 16 hours work. So like that, first we prioritize whatever the lowest one that we have to be completed within a day. That first we prioritize, and then we are going for the difficult tasks, difficult stories that's assigned to me. So yeah, the things are set up like this.
Okay, fine. So you also mentioned that you basically get involved in a lot of cross-functional stuffs, right?
Yes.
So what all those activities that you have performed till date, cross-functional activities?
Yeah. So sometimes in our visualization might be sometimes data failed, or data is not refreshed, or data is not coming in your exact way. So we have to consult with the data team. So what's the going up, if they have to refresh the data source or not, that we have to check. So that problem arises. And sometimes our dashboard is full empty. Means for that particular, now in our case also for the Zoom client. So sometimes a head count is still showing a zero count. Why that happen? Then we are again going to set up the meeting with the data team, why the data is not loaded for that particular time period. Then again they are loading, they refresh the data, all that things are happen. Again, some are the
Why they are not using a trigger file for that? Means why manual loading is required? You can set up that. You can schedule the job, right?
yes, yes, yes.
But manual thing is manually, if you have to constantly go to load the data, means you have to constantly go to the database team to do it. Don't you think it's a hectic task for everyone? Means, and the KPI that you mentioned is showing as 0. Does it show 0 once the report has been published onto the production, or does it show 0 when you are still working on it?
Still working on it.
Okay. So what all things did your data team do for that? Did they fix it, or how you have highlighted that?
Yeah. So first thing is that we have to check our data is coming or not. Means whatever the task that they have to assign me, we have to write the calculation for further improvement of the dashboard. So as previous one, if they are not showing the data, then we are not concluded that whatever we are showing there, it is in the exact way, because it is already showing visualization 0. And we have to show the metrics, whatever the bar chart that we are showing is on our head count. And if it is not showing with the latest one, then we have to consult
So
with them.
once you're done with the development, what are the other phases do you do in your project management flow?
Yeah. So once the task is designed, that's I have completed, then it is going for the user acceptance testing, UAT, where again we have to sit with our clients. So whatever the things that I have made in the dashboard, whatever the changes that I have made in the dashboard, whatever the data flows in the dashboard, that is coming the correct or not, that we have to confirm with the client. And we are also checking, make the document for that, but client is also checking and suggest some things that going to be
So
changes in.
direct after development, you go to the UAT phase?
Yeah.
There is no unit testing that's done.
Yeah, that's the thing, unit testing.
So after the development is done, you will go for unit test. Then
Yes,
it will be validated by your QA. Do you have any QA as well?
yeah,
Or
QA
you
team is there.
QA team is there, right?
Yes.
So before the UAT, I think these are the steps. The unit testing will be done by you, then you will move it into the QA team. The QA will at first give you the confirmation, and then you can go to the client. Otherwise, your client will find a lot of mistakes, and then they will get back to your manager stating that what job you have done. Right.
Yes,
So
yes.
okay. So where do you maintain the documents, the requirement documents or the project flow documents? Where do you normally maintain that?
That in the Confluence we are getting. Jira.
Confidence you
Jira
mentioned.
Confluence. Yes.
Yes, Confidence. Okay. Fine. Okay. Coming on to your server knowledge, what all activities did you do on server?
So on the server side, they have given me a role explorer, and but I know the whatever the site administration do, but in my things in my project they have not given assigned to me, and otherwise in previous project also they have not assigned me to that. But I know how to add the users, how to add the groups, how to extract one refresh at a particular time, how to manage the permissions to various things. That's all things I know, how to subscription alerts, as well as how to check the job analysis where the performance issues are there. So I know that, but I'm not very
For
much
example,
involved.
you have published your report onto the server and it is taking a lot of time. How do you do the analysis over there?
Yeah, first things I run the optimizer. That is the current feature in the Tableau
Workbook
desktop.
optimizer, right?
Yeah, workbook optimizer. So it shows where we have to hide the unused fields, then which are the query or which are the calculation that takes a lot of time for rendering purpose. So these are the things we are noticed and we have to work on that. So, and then we have published.
So on the server side, I'm asking what you do on the servers. You mentioned, right? You know on the server how to check the job, how much time it is taking. Where do we go and check that?
Yeah, so it's a loading time when we are published into the server. So sometimes when we have to check on the server side, means any filtering we have done, so it takes a lot of time.
But how will you check that time? That where will you get that exact time that your server took this much seconds or this much minute to load? Where do you check that on server? We cannot do it manually on our stopwatch, right? There is a
Yes,
feature
yes, yes.
that Tableau has given where we can go and check. Do you know that?
Aware about that.
You're not aware of that.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
fine. So you know what's the difference between render and retrieve?
Yeah, rendering is the time taken by the dashboard for the loading. And
What is retrieve?
retrieve is the that loading the data when we have.
What happens when you have published a report onto the server? When you're opening it, do you render at first or do you retrieve at first?
Rendering first. Yes.
Sure. Suppose I'm interacting with a filter. What will happen? What is render? Means which activity of yours will render and what activity of yours will retrieve?
I'm not sure.
No problem. I think you can explore that later. Suppose a client comes up with a requirement that
Okay.
that there is a dashboard, and as you mentioned that you have 23 filters. So
Yes.
23 filters, and I believe that there will be a lot of business units as well who would be checking through that dashboard. So
Yes.
every business unit will have, so if 23 filters are there, I'm hoping that inside that 23 filters, there will be n number of records from where they will have to select and figure out their own report, right? So
Yes.
now the client is coming up to you that, Rupesh, what is happening that I have to select all my filters on a daily basis just to come onto my report. I do not want to do it. I want to automate this process. I want that whenever I will open my dashboard, whatever selections that's there that I do on a daily basis would be there and my dashboard will be present in front of my system. What will you suggest her, him or her? Is it possible that can we make Tableau remember the selections of our filters and create something for them?
First thing is that about the only relevant values in our filter side. So
Relevant is, suppose, for example, I have selected region East. Based on East, all the other subcategories, categories, whatever things are coming.
yes,
That is relevant. But now Tableau will remember that I am that user and I generally select East. I see the East region. And based on East region, there are suppose say 10 subcategories. I see only 3. I check that on a daily basis. And then there are other filters which I have to check in, because it will be a lot of time consuming process for the end user also to constantly check or uncheck the filters and come to the report, which they have to check on a daily basis. Have you ever suggested or did you explore anything which can help the end users?
yeah, if particular things that there, then we are go for the context one. So
Context? No. Context with that will be for that particular client. What about the others? They will select something different, right? You cannot make context for larger audience. Context is on that particular dashboard build that you are doing, but the audience is large and they are selecting their own particular filters. I think you can export that later. That can be done on the server side. There's something called as custom view that can be created. Okay.
yeah, I have did that custom
Done.
views. Yes. A particular view for the particular user. Yes.
What is done over there?
Means we have created some filtering for that, and then go for the views, and then have to send them a user and give that name, a view name,
Mhm.
so that particular user can see that view in the view side. That custom views created, but I forget now.
Okay, no problem. It's
Yeah.
fine. Explore, I guess. We have to set that as default, which is very important. Otherwise, they will have to constantly toggle between the current one and the default.
Yes.
Okay. I guess, Shanu, you can ask few questions based on SQL and Tab if you want. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Rupesh.
Yeah. Hi.
Okay. So as you mentioned that you have worked with data blending, okay? So I wanted to ask that whenever sometimes what happens if we are going to create a view and we see that there is asterisk sign in our visualization. So have you ever explored that?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's happened due to if a one dimension, if there is cardinality one to many is happening on the both the data sources. So Tableau does not recognize that which one I have to choose. So if the city have 2 to 3 options are there, means I've just given the example. So in that case, Tableau confused. So it directly gives the asterisk in your visualization.
Okay. Can
Yes.
we publish blended data source?
No, we cannot publish. The blended data source is for particular sheet only. We
Okay.
cannot publish it.
So there is another way to publish these data source we are using for the blended.
For blending one,
Yeah.
I'm not exploring that things, but as per my knowledge, blending, you cannot publish the blending. It is only for that particular worksheet, I must say.
Okay. Okay, Rupesh, suppose that we have a visualization where the customer name is present and we have the sales against that. Now I want to know the max order of sales for these customers. So how we can achieve that?
Sorry, I'm not getting it.
Okay, suppose that we have created the visualization by using customer and the sales and the order.
Customer
So,
sales and orders. Okay.
yeah, we are getting the sales against customer and the order against customer. So I want to know the max order for each customer.
Net order,
Max.
max order. So you can go with the fixed one. Maximum order that one. So yeah, with the fix that one.
So what you will write in the calculation?
Fix customer name and latest order that you want, maximum order date.
Okay, and if I want to know the second max order,
So second max order, again, we have to write the calculation for that. Uh, with the fixed one also, less than or equal to, like that, you have to write.
what like that, like what you will write in the calculation, the whole calculation I want to know.
First the maximum order, then if that maximum order less than or equal to that maximum, I'm not going to correct.
Okay, okay, suppose that we have created the visualization.
Okay,
I have used the map for India and one another map that is for out of India. Now,
okay,
I want to have one button. By clicking on one button, that I can see all the sales related to India. And by again clicking on that one button, we can see all the sales or all the measures related to that all out of India. Then how we can achieve that?
by using the action URL actions you can given.
Okay, how?
So means we have to check into the server or within the desktop only.
Within the desktop only.
Okay, so we have to create a shape for that, and means that is the visualization things, and filter out, uh, giving a filter action for that particular things, and it is navigated to that other dashboard by using the button or all that things, and then return button.
Navigation you will use.
Yes.
But we are using only this in the visualization. We are not on the desktop or the dashboard level. We are on the sheet level.
Okay, on the sheet there are two workbooks are there, two sheets are there. Means for selection parameter action,
Okay. Okay. Have you ever deal with the date function?
yeah, date function I done with that.
Okay. So if I want to know the last day of current month, how we can achieve that?
Last day of the current month. With the maximum order date, in the LOD, we have considered maximum date field, and means it is a table scope LOD. So we consider maximum with that date field. So it gives you a current date.
I'm asking the last day of current month.
Last day. That's why I'm saying that in the
Suppose that today's date is 11th of August. Okay. Now I want to know the last of this month. So it will be 30th of this month. So how we can achieve that?
okay. So date trunk. Date trunk gives the first and then -1 to that date trunk. In the date trunk, we can date add to the +1 month and then -1. So it gives you the last month of that that month.
Okay, so we are in current month. Okay, we are getting the sales for current month. Now I want to know the sales of same month, but this will be for the previous year. Then how we can achieve that?
You are talking about LMTD calculations.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why we have to write a calculation. Means we have to restrict them, that giving the if condition. So if condition for that suppose date field is less than or equal to today, And again, we have to given the condition that date difference we have given for the month, then for that date field and today, which is equal to the 1. Means it's going to the previous, and then we measures end. So in such way, we can give the current.
But as
Last.
you mentioned, you will use date difference by month level. So this will decrease by -1 or what? Like this is
One. 0 for the current and
Yeah.
1 for previous.
So this will be for the last month. This not will be for the last year current month.
Last month, so we have a date part for the month and date field and today and is equal to 1.
Yeah, but that is for the month level. I'm asking you previous year current month.
Previous. Okay, so in that case, the date difference should be year and date field and today is equal to 1.
Okay, so by this we will go for the previous year. And
Yes.
what about the month? This only August month should be there. Like the current month is August. So previous year, August month, sales I want.
So again, date field. That date field is equal to, we have to date add month. Then we have to consider that date field into today. Date add month -1 to the today. And again, we have to given that condition date difference is equal to year and date field and today is equal to 1.
Okay, are you aware about row level security?
Yeah, we have applied that row level security in our recent project.
Okay, so have you applied that row level security on desktop level or on server level?
So it is on the server level that we have applied.
Okay, so you have you been explore that on the desktop level?
Yes. So we have a field like directors, executive, and they want their particular dashboard for them. So on the data perspective side, one tables we have created for directors and their user ID also are there. So you go with the entitlement tables with the inner join, and they will see, then write the calculation for that, matching with the user function and put into the filter and is equal to true. So they see that particular data. So that's we are suggesting by the data team side, but I am suggesting them that we are go with the creating the users and groups, so that would be very beneficial. But by the they want like, why you are going for the number of subscription, why you are going again a number of users. So we can generally see with our data site, and we are sending them a PDF or all that things. They do not want a more subscription, more users in their server level.
So there are any function we can use on the desktop level as a row level security?
Yeah. So on the server side, there is an option, create a user filter. So you have to decide what type of columns that you want. Then you click on.
Rupesh, I'm not talking about the server level. I'm talking about the desktop level. Is there any function?
Yeah, on the tab menu side, there is a server. Server is the option is there. Where in the server option, there is a create a user filter. And when you click on that create a user filter, you have to mapping that particular column. So one window appear where you have to mapping with your all the users or with the groups.
These are for the server level. I am asking on about the functions like username is member of.
Okay. Username is member of is username, then user full name. Now they are introducing user attributes also in the recent version.
Okay, so can you elaborate that? What is the use of username and is member of?
So is member of, if you want to show up from a particular groups, so you have to write the calculation like if you are director from the country Asia, so you have given a group, so is member of from that particular group, then we are to showing this particular measures to them. Then again else if condition we can show to another, like from the Singapore director is there, so we have to again be matching with that group, so we
What-
have to write the calculation.
What will be the calculation? I want to know the calculation, what you will write.
If is member of that particular group, then true. If you want true and false Boolean things, if you want, then else member of from that Singapore group, then true. Such type of calculation, and you have to create a Boolean field, and you just drag it into the filter side and set true. So that particular member group, when they are logging into server side, so they can see only that particular data from Singapore side. Singapore directors and Singapore people, they see only Singapore data, Singapore visualization. From Asia, they want the Asia. So this is the things that get to be done.
Okay. Okay, suppose that I'm writing one calculation. Okay. If order date equals to max of order date, then sales. It is correct or incorrect?
If order date
Equals to max of order date, then sales end. So it is correct or incorrect?
No, it is incorrect. Because if condition is for a particular row, and you are showing the aggregation in that maximum, so you have to, once you have to use ATTR, then it's showing the correct way, or you have to show then sum of sales like that. But you have to means if condition, Boolean condition is for the particular row.
Okay,
It's
have
not.
you seen the error that we cannot mix aggregated with non-aggregated?
Yes.
Okay, so can you give me an example where you have seen this error?
Yeah, while working, I saw such type of things while writing the calculation. So if you are showing, suppose if termination type is equal to involuntary termination, and then I see sum of termination, so it's giving me the error that you cannot mix aggregate and non-aggregate. So you have to, either you have to use ATTR, that's fine if you use ATTR, or you can directly remove that aggregation. So just you have to, that terminations things means in this project, that's I'm talking about. So yeah, we have to think in that perspective. You have to only think with the row level, whatever the Boolean field that you have created.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rupesh, so I'm assuming that you have worked on the SQL as well.
Yes.
Okay, so if I want to delete the duplicate record from the table, and I want to use only window function, so how we can achieve that?
Delete the duplicate record. So in that case, I have used a CTE expression for that. So with employee CTE.
Is window function?
A
Okay.
duplicate record. So I can use delay with employee CTE because common table expression that's I have created.
Okay. Okay, Rupesh. So it is done from my side, and Shubhadeep, you can take it from here. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much. So Rupesh, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years of time?
Yeah, I want to become a data scientist. So that's my goal. But yeah, currently that phase is going from the Tableau side and SQL side. But I want to learn ML, machine learning, AI, all that things in the future. That's my planning. And again, elaborating all the various options like Python, as well as I'm currently learning Power BI also. But again, it is in the middle things. It's not fully explore. Just I to know which are the M languages, how the Power Query, just only a familiarize with that, how the DAX are written, but not in a perfect way.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much for your time, Rupesh. Have a wonderful day ahead. We will start with the feedback session now.
Yes, sure.